Welcome, everybody, to the VFC Insight Series. And I have the privilege of having Armando Escalante here. He's a social worker that works exclusively with military veterans and with military connected clients. And Armando and I have known each other probably since 2011, right? Or 2012?
About 2012, yeah.
Wow. Really, Armando? That kind of gets me. I'm like, we've known each other. We've known each other through so many different things at NAU. So we met at Northern Arizona University, and you were undergrad, and then rocked that, nobody's business. And then you went on to do your master's degree in social work. And then you were able to work with me in our department, Veteran Military Services at NAU, doing your social work internship. And now look at us, full circle. Now you're working in your field of social work.
Yes.
And I have since transitioned out of NAU and have started this not-for-profit program where now I'm concentrating on two of the fun pillars, which is I'm a resource navigator, always will be, just naturally. But two things, it's VA benefits for education and VA home loan. It's the fun stuff, right? So that being said, Armando, how are you connected to the military?
Yeah, I was in the Navy. Wow, for a while, 14 years. And
wow.
Once I got out, I came straight to Flagstaff and started immediately, jumped right into school at NAU. And I think because of not knowing where to go, not knowing, anything essentially, I found like a military connected place at NAU. And that's where it just really the big connection is through the NAU Veteran Resource Center, and it just went from there. Yeah.
So when you transitioned out of the military, being in the Navy for 14 years, and you served overseas and really had the true military experience, if there is such a thing, right? What was your experience? Did you feel like a fish out of water when you first started that journey?
Oh, yeah.
Was it navigating the benefits that were tricky? Was it just the whole culture?
Yeah, honestly, all of the above. I think help from all over, like even my own wife helped me fill out some stuff from through the application process. I think thankfully then it was an easy transition. And if I ever had any questions, I always would. I got to tell you, the main source of everything was the Veterans Center there at NAU. Just the staff there is amazing, and they helped me. Scott Heflin, he was definitely a big help.
Love us some Scott Heflin, man.
Yeah,
he's so knowledgeable. Yeah.
So Scott Heflin, and when I got out the military, of course, I married, had two kids, little kids. And the cool thing about the vet center, they had all like different resources for parents, for like childcare services, or it was amazing to have all that there, like a central hub. And besides that, there was also my college experience, and that was really different. I was actually, of course, I've been out of school for over a decade. And I had no idea if I'd be able to complete it or anything like that. So just to be on the safe side, I ended up signing up for a class. And this was back then, they didn't have the class they do now for vets, which is really awesome, by the way.
Yes, that is a huge, they call it veteran integration, open to new students that are served in the military, Guard or Reserve or military, and they have that space. So they didn't have that when you started.
They did not. So here I was have all this experience, military experience. I was, I think, 34 or 35 at the time. Of course, everybody's 10, 15 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So
I know.
There was that barrier. But I think just with the school or with the classes, like trying to find how to do this and how to do that. But it was definitely a challenge with all that, just not knowing. But eventually,
you feel like because of that big gap between high school and, of course, in the military, it's just constant learning, but it's a different style of learning. It's like front-loaded learning, like front-loaded. Right. Here's what you got. Take it, do something, learn it and use it.
And
In
apply it.
college,
Yeah.
it's such a different experience. And I have found just in the 12 years of working with people that even math, like they might have been good at math when they were in high school. And then all of a sudden they come back and it's almost like their auditory processing has changed a little bit. And then it becomes tricky. Did you just slide right in there and pick up where you left off, or did you find it was tricky?
I think I was able to pick up where I left off, and I had some help with some of the professors. Just I was very proactive, I will say. I would go to the after hours or the professor open. Yeah, and they helped me a lot. I think the difference is the traditional students, I'll say, probably just either one already knew what to do, fresh out of high school, whatever. But two, I think for at least for me, is just taking that control, being an adult and going in and hey, being proactive, talking to the professors. That really helped.
That's true. Exactly. So these resources could be handed to you on a silver platter, right? But if you don't
Right.
use them, it's not going to do anything. And the fact that you have that maturity and that humbleness to say, this is a different experience for me. So let me just use the resources that are provided. And then talking to your professors. And then what brought you into the social work arena?
At the time, I honestly had no idea I would be in this profession. I think what really got me was how I was able to give back, even as a student, my undergrad, doing the SVA, doing the whole peer mentorship. I was like,
yeah, let me back up a step.
yeah.
So you were a SVA, which stands for Student Veterans of America. And then NAU had a chapter that each school can have a chapter. Sometimes the chapter is really active and sometimes it isn't. And it certainly ebbs and flows because it's a student led. But I'm going to tell you something right now. You kicked butt, man. Because you got a plaque actually that is hanging in, that's still in the Veteran Success Center, Armando, that says you got chapter. You should go get that. Bring it home. Just go snag it. Go steal it. That's yours, man. You earned that. You need to go get it. But it's a plaque on the wall, which is recognized nationally, Armando. You got chapter of the month from Little Flagstaff, Arizona, recognized from Washington nationally. So I just wanted to give you a shout out on that. That was good.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And that was the part of the whole scheme of things of me becoming a social worker, just giving back. And it's funny because when I wanted to go back and continue my education, I went back to see one of my old advisors. Gosh, I can't remember his name. He was a reservist for the Marines.
Was it Matt Pavich?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Matt Pavich. He's an awesome dude. I
yes, really loved him.
Yeah. And he planted in the idea, because I went to him. I said, hey, I want to go back to school. I just not sure what I want to do, and maybe getting another degree, another bachelor's degree. And he's like, have you ever thought about like social work? He's like, you did really well with the students as a student there at and I'm like, so he gave me some resources and I looked it up and I'm like, wow, I really like it. So I went and applied and here I am.
Wow. So now here you are. This is awesome. And so how do you work with anybody who served?
Yeah, anyone, any vets I serve. Currently, I am trying to focus a little bit more on the reservation, some of the vets out there. But since I'm here in Flagstaff, I also open up my services here locally. Students, if they need it, they have. Pete does a really good job with blasting out my information and what I do. Yeah. So he's still doing that. So, yeah, and I have a pretty good caseload from NAU.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is fantastic because we need to meet the veterans where they are. So that being said, the thing that I love about how you run your show is that you do meet your clients where they are. So you are like mobile Armando. So you can go, you're at the school sometimes, you go to the reservation and you meet them where they're at, which I love that.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely am a mobile guy. I don't have per se an office here in Flagstaff, but I have an office on wheels. I utilize some space here and there, sometimes at NAU, here at the clinic, the VA clinic. So I'm just pretty much all over. And if need be, like depending on the vet, if they're incapacitated, like physically, I could possibly meet them there at their home.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. And then do you do any group sessions anymore? I knew that in the past you had done, but how is that going?
Yeah, I currently run two groups, both Vietnam era. One of them
Love
is,
that.
yeah, one of them is in person here in Flagstaff, and I have another that's virtual.
Okay. How's
Yeah.
that virtual? Do you get that? Do you get any traction from that virtual?
Yeah, all the guys in my groups, they're a bunch of great guys. Just one of the things that we are is fairly new to me. It's called the moral injury. Yeah, so that's the virtual group that we focus.
So how do people, is that Vietnam era veterans
Yeah,
as well? Okay.
yeah, they're both Vietnam era, and I'm actually looking to kind of change things. If I could find OIF, Desert Shield era, that'd be awesome. I'm sure the OIF guys are just like me. They probably have jobs, but I'm willing to. And that's another thing, Lori, is I can bend my hours if I need to. If I want to start a group starting at 5:30 for an hour, I can bend my hours to do that.
I have a perfect person that I wanted to hook you up with. You may know him, but his name is Ray from MVP, which is My Veteran Passion. There's a lot of MVPs out there, so sometimes it can get confusing, but his name is Ray from My Veteran Passion. And he started that because he had served in the military. He was losing friends for death by suicide. He wanted to do something about it. So he started MVP, which is on the platform called Discord. He's building camaraderie. So he will have a group that comes in and they might do gaming together online, or they
Uh,
might say, let's at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning, let's all go out and do a walk, not together, but we're avoiding isolation, right? So people
yeah,
are isolated, that's the problem. So he is doing a phenomenal job on removing that isolation barrier by bringing people online and in a group setting so that they can say, oh, get up and exercise and we're going to be with you on the phone, that kind of stuff. I'm not doing it justice, but I think that he would be an amazing person to connect with because your skill set is probably, he works with other social workers, but there
yeah,
is never enough. There is never enough. And if you wanted to set up a group, I know that he would be amenable to that.
yeah, it'd be
That'd be
awesome.
amazing. How are you connected to the VA? That's confusing. So are you VA? I know what you are, but are you VA or not? And how are you connected?
Yeah, I can definitely understand how people can get that so confused. Half the time, I'm trying to tell them too. It's so bad, Lori. Sometimes people think I'm a vet center for pets, veterinarian.
Yeah.
The big thing is they always ask for dog food. I'm like, oh no, I'm not that.
Oh my gosh. Maybe you should get some dog food on there.
Yeah, I
Actually,
should.
I got some right here. Oh
Yeah,
gosh, that's funny.
yeah. But no, I think when usually when I do outreach, like they have different stand downs. At one time, I was going to really cool like powwows, different things that were going on in the community. I was able to go to those and set up and just get the word out, explain to the community, hey, this is what I do. Part of the big VA vet center and provide counseling services. So it's usually word of mouth as well. That's pretty big on the reservation. I
Right.
Going back to serving the Navajo and Hopi people. Hopi, they love when I come out. They try to get me on the radio. I'm like, hey, you
Really?
know, yeah, it's really
What do
cool.
you mean by they try to get you on the radio?
Anytime, if I can schedule, I'll go out. And I have a good buddy of mine. He's an Air Force vet. He works out there on the clinic and on the Hopi reservation, and he works with the radio, the Hopi radio. So we'll do an interview.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. They do love you, Armando. Back the track up.
Yeah.
See how confusing it is?
So you know how the VA has three pillars, right? There's the VHA, VBA, and then the cemetery, like the National Cemetery. So when you look at VHA, that's the Veteran Health Administration. VBA is Veteran Benefits Administration. So if you look at the clinics, the hospitals, they're under VHA. Vet Center is also under the umbrella of VHA.
Ah, I
Yeah.
see. Okay, good. So then when you're talking about, you're at the CBOC, and so somebody can go to the CBOC, they know that the people there at the front office, if you're not on site, which you're obviously not because you're mobile, they are going to refer the clients to you.
They would.
So what would be, do you have anything else to share before I do my wrap up question for you? Do you get feedback with why they went to the VRC instead of directly to the VA?
I think it's just something more familiar. And I will say, when I first got out and started my career and also learning about the different resources, the VA can sometimes be a little, I don't want to say complicated, but a little different. So I think a lot of people may have experienced that, some vets, and maybe they thought, at the VRC is a little bit more familiar. People there, I know the people, the staff. So I think that's the reason why. Yeah.
And what do you wish more veterans or military connected would have known?
Yeah, I think that the answer can be so obvious sometimes. It's just a matter of speaking up, or because we're taught how to strategize, how to take on an issue essentially. But I think sometimes, a lot within my experience, a lot of vets, they see the lens through just getting out the military. There's a big difference with someone just getting out the military and someone who's been out for 10 years. It's the same, they're vets, they're the same, but the lens is different. So I think it's just a matter of asking questions, trying to find those resources, get plugged in. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, will get lost in the system, and that puts a big damper on there. Who knows? VA could be the last, the VRC, whatever resource could be their last lifeline. Yeah, so just
so they
asking
need
questions.
to know that you're there. They need to know. They need to know, and they need to know that you're mobile and you have a big RV.
Yeah.
that you drive around.
Yeah.
That's not a veterinarian. It's not for veterinarian.
I don't have dog food.
You don't have dog food. Just, do you ever, what is one piece of advice that you often find yourself sharing? Like you said, it seems so obvious, like right in front of you, but sometimes people just need to hear it. What would that be?
I think it's mainly like that whole idea of just getting plugged in, speaking up. I think isolation is definitely a big one. And I feel like in the years that I've been doing this, there is a constant theme of people trying to, or wanting to isolate, or essentially living in the past. Oh, this is not how we did it. Did in our unit, or I miss, which is fine. That's totally fine. But go find somewhere a resource, something to talk about it, to talk to other vets about it. Find a group, get plugged in somewhere. That's probably the thing my best advice I'd give. Yeah.
That is such great advice. I'm so glad I got to connect with you just because it's fun to see you too. So how could people find you if they wanted to reach out and get support from Armando Escalante?
Oh man, that's a good question. It's hard. Like I said,
because you're always moving around. It's hard to catch you. I'm just joking.
I usually rely on others. Like, so I get referrals sometimes.
Is it your preference for, if somebody is seeking assistance, that they actually go to the VA first? Because don't they have to be in the system? Can you speak to, actually, and I'll flip this around so I can move it to different, this won't be the end.
With the Vet Center, what we do, our criteria is we serve those who have been deployed overseas to some sort of conflict, OIF, or OIF, Desert Shield, Vietnam, those different, or if they've experienced MST, military sexual trauma, bereavement. And then we opened up to college, the veteran students who are going to college. All I need to see is like they're enrolled in a school and they have a DD 214.
That's changed. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could see.
So Armando, thank you for all of this excellent advice and sharing what our military connected and those who have served need to know. And so if somebody wants to get in touch with you as a social worker, whether it's for counseling services or to set up a group session, how is the best way that you think they could get in touch with you?
Yeah, there's at least with me, with the vet center, I do have in my own email plus my own phone that's connected to my work phone, that they can get a hold of me that way. Or depending on what the need is for the vet, if they're seeking like some sort of mental health compensation, I would definitely refer them to the VA to give them a call and set something up, whether it's the federal VA or the state VA that do the different benefits. I would definitely refer them to there. Again, if whatever avenue the vet can get, if there's just flat out seeking some, whether it's group or individual, yes, come see me. You don't need to be service connected or anything, as long as you have a DD 214 and you're in some sort of conflict overseas, we'll definitely get you connected. Or services is in person, virtual, or even telephone. Yeah.
Where they are, and the whole philosophy is no wrong door, right? So if somebody comes to me and they're coming with the idea of education benefits or to VA home loan, I'm a mortgage lender. And so when somebody's, after they've learned about the VA home loan now or 5 years from now, they can see me because I'm probably a different kind of lender than most people are. When I do my loans, I am extremely transparent. I'm like I was in higher education, so I'm different than the regular lender, but I think people appreciate that. And so if they came to me, my hope is that I would be able to uncover any other situations that are happening just through conversations. That's the no wrong door. Thank you so much. And I will see you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Talk to you, Lori. Bye.